Ajay, you talked of, all of this, and you talked of the various difficult years and how you kind of now see Siddharth as, kind of being in this, living in the moment, etc. But when did you reach the stage of acceptance, or, did you reach the stage of acceptance fairly on?
No, see, acceptance is actually it's a very funny term when you use the word acceptance in the developmental delays and disability sector, because what do one mean by acceptance? If we see a double amputee with prosthetic legs, does those prosthetic legs mean that he has not accepted his amputation, or what do we make of it, or he has overcome his challenges?
Right.
So I don't believe that there is something called acceptance. I believe that we accept the child. He is your son. That acceptance is always there. And then the joys he brings with whoever he is or whatever he does, that is acceptance. There is nothing more to be philosophical about acceptance or denial. That is trying to create a false dichotomy, in my opinion. Maybe because I have pre-accepted the child. Maybe.
Right.
I'm not saying that my own narrative should be, others should follow my narrative. I may have pre-accepted the child. And I may be just looking at his potentials and, those kind of things. And I may be looking at, there's this very, very one-line philosophy which I have read many, many years ago, which, by the way, they say that philosophies that can be put in a nutshell belong in a nutshell. So I'm not saying that way, but this says that being without the angst of becoming. Being without the angst of becoming. So I firmly believe for my son and for myself also, don't have the angst of becoming something or becoming somebody, or just be.
Right.
So when you, now that is the philosophy I have accepted. Now, I don't go around asking anybody, have you accepted this philosophy? Have you accepted this philosophy? No, everybody accepts things in their own way. I believe that very firmly. So that is the philosophy of my acceptance.
Right.
There is nothing more to it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Ram, would you like to add to that, or a different perspective?
Yeah. Exactly. For me, yeah, I have a different perspective of acceptance. Acceptance happens when you sort of like realize the real potential of your child, or the skills, or possibly even, yes, this is it. I mean, it's like there's called as the grief cycle. In the grief cycle, you go very low up to a point of depression, and at that point of depression, and then coming out of the depressive state that everybody goes through, it's more like, okay, here, this is it. This is what we have been dealt with. And from here, how do we take it forward? Okay, this is what he can do. This is what he can't do. I'm not going to push him any further. And then this point of acceptance for me, it was pretty late. I mean, and much later than, both Akila was working very hard on it, and trying to bring as much as possible some kind of semblance, and trying to work towards, okay, what are those learning styles, which way, what are the things we can do, etc. But I was a little far away from all those things. And then until I started interacting with Nishant, and that was probably a point when I think that's when the acceptance grew. And that was probably by that time he was 11, 12 years old by that time.
Right.
Until then, it was more of, okay, yeah. I myself was holding myself back. I would think that is the point of acceptance, is when you start interacting with your child.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Ashok, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
About the acceptance, I think most of the parents has initial stage of the denial, so we were. And over a period of time, when we started meeting other parents, other children, seeing them, yes, then we also started accepting what the child's challenges are. Okay. Yes, I never went for only with the diagnosis, but I went for the specific things what Aditya was facing. And all those things, once we accepted, then we started it relaxing, that what is to be accepted, what is to be told to the people, what is to be told when he goes to the school, and all these things. And yes, there was a period of depression, non-acceptance. There is a his friend circle, non-acceptance of him to be there. All these things, yes, it irritates us, but ultimately you have to balance somewhere where the things can be best for him, and we work on that.
Right, right. Thank you, Ash.